floor goes to the Minister Sikkut.
Dear Rail Baltic Industry Day participants, I would love to be with you in Riga, but unfortunately I'm welcoming you from Tallinn. But I hope you have a very fruitful discussions and nice time for networking. Rail Baltic itself, it's an historic and a large-scale undertaking for all three Baltic countries. It should connect the Baltic states to the rest of Europe. It should reduce the carbon footprint of our transport sector, and at the time of war, that the importance of railway as a mode for military logistics has also increased. But when we are talking about the 19th century idea and the 19th century mode of transport, we are still constructing it to be using modern technology to offer a state-of-the-art service for anyone who would like to travel from Tallinn to Warsaw or Riga to Vilnius. How is it going? As often, there are two sides to it. On one hand, we are progressing well. Estonia has invested 100 million to construct viaducts, aqueducts, and everything else a modern railway needs. We are planning to invest 150 million next year and €1 billion over the next 4 years. At the same time, there have been significant delays in the design process of the main line, so we are planning to tender the first 2 sections of the main line at the beginning of next year in the Harju and Rapla County. The progress has been slower than expected, but it often happens with large-scale projects like this. But in general, it is an exercise of cooperation for the Baltic states, and we cannot achieve the goal to have a railway running and offering modern service without you. So whether we are talking about infrastructure construction works or developing the service, this is where you come into play. And I hope the cooperation will be fruitful, beneficial, and we will deliver, and we all can soon be heading from Tallinn to Riga, to Kaunas and Warsaw, and enjoy the luxury of modern travel. And of course, if we are looking at the economic effects, the freight transport that could be freely moved from north to south, which has become more relevant at the times where east to west logistics change have been interrupted, and it's difficult to see that the past will come back. So all the best to you, and hope to meet you next time.
Thank you to Minister Sikkut, and we take the train further on. Next one, we have a video greeting from Minister Tāls Linkaits, who is the Minister of Transport of Latvia.
Dear participants of Rail Baltica Industry Day, fellow colleagues and ministers, Rail Baltica is the project of the century for Latvia. To build Rail Baltica and to complete it in due time is Latvia's highest priority in the long term and at present. The current geopolitical situation, the war in Ukraine, underlines the strategic importance of this project not only for the countries of the Baltic Sea region, but for Europe as a whole. Our plan is to build Rail Baltica in phases, aiming to start the first rail operations by 2027, connecting the priority sections according to the Rail Baltica construction strategy. We have started construction already of Rail Baltica on the Riga Central Station, node section, and the Riks Airport section. And in 2022, Latvia has achieved significant progress. Next year, Latvia plans to start construction of the main line on the southern section to establish a cross-border connection to Kaunas in Lithuania with the possibility to connect to Poland. Contracts have been signed for the design and also supervision of the Salaspils intermodal freight terminal, as well as for the Rail Baltica regional stations, with the aim to develop them as a regional mobility hubs. Signing of the contract for the construction of Rail Baltica main line outside Riga is expected soon. In order to speed up the implementation process, Latvia has adopted several legislative amendments, including a special Rail Baltica law. Timely completion of the Rail Baltica project directly depends on timely allocated financial resources. Therefore, cooperation and further financial support of the European Union is of vital importance. For the first time, Latvia is granted financing from the new EU support instrument under military mobility envelope to develop transport infrastructure that would serve both civil and military needs. Latvia believes that this financing will allow to build specific objects of military cargo operations. The Rail Baltica project goes beyond passenger travel, freight transportation and logistics. Currently, Rail Baltica is a vital security corridor, and it is particularly important to ensure reliable connectivity with Western Europe and to fully use the new rail transport link with Europe to increase our country's defense capabilities. Once again, I would like to emphasize that the Rail Baltica project is of high priority, and in this situation, in close cooperation with Lithuania, Estonia and our international partners is very important. Only through joint efforts we can ensure that Rail Baltica becomes indeed backbone of a strong EU transport system.
Thank you, Minister Linkaits. And then we proceed to Deputy Minister of Transport and Communications of the Republic of Lithuania, Agne Vaiciukevičiūtė, who is joining us online. Good morning, Deputy Minister.
Good morning, dear colleagues and participants of Rail Baltica Industry Day. The project of the century, the biggest shared investment in the Baltic so far, the most important North-South rail link in Europe. All these headlines refer to Rail Baltica, the most important project currently being implemented in the Baltics. In Lithuania, the construction of the main line from Kaunas to Latvia has begun. The Kaunas-Riga section of Rail Baltica is currently the most mature section in the entire project. This interstate link will undoubtedly be the first to be completed and launched in the operation. Accordingly, I would like to mention that a European gauge railway line from Poland to Kaunas intermodal terminal is already in operation. For the first time in history, freight trains loaded with containers and semi-trailers are running from Kaunas to Duisburg in Germany since last year. This November, the first semi-trailers from Kaunas arrived to Trieste, one of the most important ports in Italy. Given the strategic significance and economic potential of the project, as well as the ongoing war in Ukraine, we must focus on the construction of the main line of Rail Baltica. Together with our partners, we are working to cover the financial needs to ensure continuous construction of the main railway line. Lithuania will come up with a solid package of activities to be proposed to get additional EU financing. I believe that every partner in this project shares the same idea: to build the right path towards the future of green, sustainable, and digitally matured European railway network as soon as possible. I remain convinced that in 2023, we will see further progress of the Rail Baltica in the region. Thank you very much and have a nice and insightful day today.